Hoy siya may klima ko limul tutaw albekla, ela tayo makaduk morsel toksyo orgi drapos, mahalik kwa lugoy ng stream bula mo programa kita tol mol. Ali malingun tutaw? Tutaw.
So, okay, can we start? Thank you very much. Tutao, everybody. I'm Dr. Pam. I'm part of the Palau Animal Welfare Society, and I'm here today with Mansell. He's our school program coordinator.
Ali, mi tutao. And I'm quite I'm studying the school program. Agi mo kumtera post mo amay sa school nga kama army kabilis. If you've seen me nga kanggel blo ba army kabilis Plaka Mawai Tabdangelam Mararar Asel Orior. And he's going to be our mascot for Pause this week. Give mo obalo may sa school. Omura ga school ababadab. Elgora di al sakran ga school asing wara tele the show kindness to your animals and how to be a responsible pet owner.
And save the date.
What's that?
Save the date.
And legal program ki marur alwiga malmut mora November 9 qoradi ready ramam ligera la anniversary apostle al year mo 25 years lang arbelao. So November 9 agi mo marura dog show, and there's going to be a lot of activities. We want to invite the public to attend. Gidir formalize ra basho ma time nisel balge de ram di madat mul mengira subadil motob del gira la activity ma ngara mo expecters sa gidel sales.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us today. So we want to share several messages to keep your pet healthy, how to be a responsible pet owner. So I don't know if you have heard about spay and neuter. What is spay and neuter? So spay and neuter are surgeries that we perform under anesthesia. That means the animal is completely asleep and not feeling any pain. And we do this to prevent them to have unwanted puppies or kittens. Why do we do this? Because it's the most effective way to control the overpopulation of animals in Palau. When do we say there's overpopulation? When there are not enough responsible homes for all the animals. And what happens with these animals that doesn't get a home? Well, they are roaming free on the street, and sometimes they are captured and killed because there are too much. But it's nice to hear that I've been here for almost 4 years. And the other day I was talking with this person who came like 12 years ago, and she was telling me that she noticed a big difference between the situation of the stray dogs in Palau compared to 12 years ago, that there are not that many. And I'm proud to say that the spay and neuter campaign that we've been doing, not just here in Koror and the different hamlets, but around Babeldorp, we've been in Kayangel, Angar, Peleliu. It's working, and that's good to hear. And why it's important to do this? Because one, with these surgeries, first of all, we are preventing unwanted puppies and kittens. Second, we are keeping our animals healthy. Why? Because we are not letting them to suffer diseases like cancer. For example, in females, cancer in the uterus, in the ovaries, in the mammary glands. On males, cancer in the scrotum, the testicles, the prostate.
Dr. Pam, I have a question about
Yes.
that. Is there a relation between the mix of genetics in a small place to abnormalities in birth in dogs, the same as human beings? Like, if there's a small gene pool like Palau, are dogs more susceptible to diseases when they're born Is that a relative
Yes.
expectation?
Definitely. I don't know if you notice or that there's a lot of cats with the cropped tail. That's something that you can see just in a few cat breeds, but here is very dominant. That is because of that all that inbreeding. For example, in the clinic, every time I see someone coming with one of those super cute gray pit bulls with the huge hair, I know for sure that puppy in the future is gonna have problems with the skin.
Yeah, because of inbreeding.
Because of the inbreeding.
I mean, my dog is also very susceptible to it because these were animals were some of the breeds were specifically bred to be that type of dog or that type of cat, and sometimes when you're not careful, even though they're not relatives, it can still they can still have the genetics that will result in diseases in the future.
Completely true.
Yeah.
Completely true. That's why it's important to, if you, I said, for example, these dogs, they should not be breeding because you should, they not be breed, sorry. The people should not breed them because, they're suffering with skin conditions, and who wants to be itchy for the rest of their life or having medicines all the time just because someone wasn't careful enough or was very selfish, and I don't care. I just want to sell these dogs, and that's a really bad business. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people say, I want them to be natural. Okay, but let's be honest. Dogs stopped being wild animals hundreds of years ago. They are part of our society. They are part of our family, and we should treat them like that. Yeah, there's a lot of myths out there that, for example, the surgery, it's gonna make my pet to be more aggressive. That's completely the opposite. Because we are suppressing the hormones that are turning them into aggressive animals. For example, when we neuter male dogs, we stop them for having that need to protect their territory, to get into fights. It's like 98% of dogs or cats that come to the clinic because they got into fights, they are not neutered. And that's the truth. Someone was telling me the other day, but that's not true. And I'm like, why? Because my wife took my female dog to get spayed, and she's still very aggressive. And I'm like, okay, it's an indoor or outdoor dog? It's an outdoor dog. Okay, so are you keeping her tied the whole time? Yes. Okay, your dog is not aggressive. Your dog is frustrated. Your dog is having a lot of energy accumulated, and if you don't spend time with your dog, walking around, wasting all that energy, of course it's going to feel frustrated, and it's not going to be nice. And if you don't spend time with them, teaching them, because it's not that, they come with the microchip of knowing how to behave, where to poop, where to pee.
I was very lucky because when it comes to choosing a pet, if you are one of those people who feel like you need a companion and you find it in a pet, it's important to find the right one. Because right now, I have Poe, my dog. He's a American Bully mix, and so Poe requires 16 hours of sleep. So that gives me a lot of time to do a lot of my own stuff. And then when he's awake, he's active for like 4 hours a day, and then the rest he's just chilling. And that's the type of dog that he is. But I'm also sitting for a friend's dog, and she's a border collie. We walk 3 miles every day, and she still has energy to walk. And if she doesn't get that walk, she goes a bit crazy. So you have to understand what kind of dog you're getting and what kind of exercise is required and how much sleep they require, because it really affects how you live your life as a human being if you really care for these animals. And if you don't, they really do get frustrated. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with keeping your animals safe. I mean, so we tend to there's nothing wrong with that. If you walk your dog and you give it enough exercise, it'll actually, when you do that, the dog will actually know what its territory is. Like when I let my dogs out, I don't put them on leash, but they know where our boundaries are, even though there's no fence there. And when another dog comes into our yard, they protect it. And when they have to protect, they only do it until the boundary, and they come back inside. So if you give them enough exercise and you love them and you show them compassion when they need it and attention, I think animals are wonderful. These things will love you unconditionally, and you don't know the feeling until you get it.
Exactly. It's very important before you get a pet to check. For example, cats are easier. They don't need that much attention. They are more independent. So, and if you don't have that much space, they are ideal for people with a small apartment. But that's the other thing. If you really want a dog, you need to make the time to get to know them, to create a bond, to be able to identify their needs. Because as Mansell said, like, no one is gonna love you more than a dog. It's
so incredible. In addition to like exercise and spay and neutering your pets, what other things can you do to make sure that your pets are protected or are healthy? Like are there vaccines or?
Exactly. One thing is all the preventive medicine that we have to apply to them. For example, when they turn 4 weeks old, between 3 and 4 weeks old, they are dogs and cats, they can get the first dewormer. What the dewormer does, the dewormer gets rid of the intestinal worms inside of the animal, okay? And we should keep doing this every 2 or 3 weeks until they are 6 months old. The thing is, when they are puppies, they are less competent to deal with intestinal worms compared to an adult dog. Okay, so after 6 months old, they can get it every 3 or 4 months. That's okay. That's one thing. Then when they turn 6 weeks, we have to start with the vaccines. So the vaccines for cats protects them against 3 diseases, rhinotracheitis, calicivirus, and panleukopenia. And the diseases that we're going to protect our dogs are adenovirus, parainfluenza, distemper, parvovirus, and leptospirosis. Do you know that leptospirosis is transmitted to humans as well by the rat's urine?
This was actually a very big case in Palau. I remember I was in 4th grade, and it was all over. I mean, the public health service here did a really good job at like bringing awareness to people. So I think if you were my age at the time, remember so there was this character that was on national television. It was kind of a little skit where they did a little skit about a rat that was spreading leptospirosis, and then what are the measures that you can protect yourself. And actually, I remember that they didn't mention vaccinating your animals. And I think this is a big part of it because, you know, Palauans are very clean people. When you go to people's houses and if you see rats, people are like, oh my God, you have rats in your yard. It's like a thing. Like people will judge you. So as Palauans, we want our houses to be clean.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of the rats. But then we don't realize that it goes through our animals. So we let our dogs come and play with our kids, but we don't realize that the dog connects us to the rat, and that ultimately brings us leptospirosis. And yeah, it is something that people have to think about.
Exactly.
Masuko mo kam vaccinate armil bilis ang tara qadam da sungil qorawat telela eser makasong arabli da sumung sada klina makasasela bli den diri qalgira del vaccinate armel البيليس مغاتو من دخلوا لا باراق المراب لا لقال رقت دير خس الميون مرقدر عاد Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. And you know, the vaccine, they need 3 vaccines, 1 month apart each. The vaccine only costs $15. So in 3 months, you're going to spend $45. That compared to 1 day of treatment trying to save a dog with lepto or parvovirus that goes between 80 to over $100, and like 99% of the time they need hospitalization if they don't die.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
a story about Poe.
very-
Poe is near and dear to my heart, but Poe was born in California, and I was not very much aware. I knew that dogs needed vaccination and stuff like
It
that.
was COVID time.
And it was during COVID, so it was hard for me to get the dogs vaccinated, but we really wanted to go to the beach. So I took him to the beach, and then on the way home, he started getting really, like, kind of not energetic, and I was like, maybe he has pneumonia because it was really cold. And then we took him to the vet, and they told me it had contracted parvovirus, and that nearly killed me because for a puppy, it's almost like a fatal thing.
Exactly.
And he had to stay at the vet for the week. Honestly,
How much did you pay for
it was
that?
$1,500 a day. I was floored. I was like, oh my God, over $10,000. And I don't even pay that for myself. I have really good insurance, so I never knew that. From that day, I got him insurance. And this is a privilege for most people. But dog care can be very expensive. And PAWS is a non-profit organization, so sometimes things are subsidized, right? But if you've gone to other clinics outside of Palau or in Palau, you can imagine how much things can end up being. Assuming take care arman bilis sa mo'oraruriw la mutan mga rubber what you can do to prevent these diseases.
Yeah, it's very important to be informed, and prevention is always the best option. Yeah, and always have to save some money every month, like for any emergency. Yeah, and try not to leave your animals loose without any attention for too long, because accidents happen. Accidents happen. Yeah, the other thing, and after they finish with the vaccination plan when they're puppies, it's recommended to give at least 1 vaccine once a year. That's it. Another thing that is very common here in Palau is heartworm. Literally, worms in the heart. And these are transmitted by mosquitoes. So we like to start with the prevention that only costs $1 a month. It costs $1 a month before they turn 2 months old, and we continue giving it for the rest of their lives, because the treatment for this disease is kind of expensive and it's very long. So if you don't have the time, you don't have the money, it's better to prevent.
Heartworm, they're spread through mosquitoes biting one pet, and then they go to another pet and they bite that other pet. That's how the heartworm gets transmitted through mosquitoes. Diwa malaria, dengue, morgidarat. So it's very important to make sure of that, because we all know that. And once it goes on one animal, you can actually predict that the entire neighborhood would get it. And it's just not good to see your pet go through that. And if we could show, there's a heart, if you come to PAWS there, you can see a heart that's been overtaken by, it's in a bath of formaldehyde. And you can look at it and just see how disgusting it is.
Yeah, and it's not nice. And
not nice.
some people say, no, but my pet spent my dog spent the whole day inside of the house. Yeah, but sometimes there are mosquitoes, and some indoor dogs have show positive tests. So it's better to prevent. And yeah, signs that you can see on these animals are sometimes they lose their appetite, they lose weight, they start to cough like. Yeah, and sometimes people say, "Oh, my dog is vomiting," and it's not vomit; it's like a white phlegm that they are expulsing because with that cough, they are trying to make some room inside to be able to breathe.
Because there's just so much worms.
Yes, it's horrible. It's horrible. But yeah, come to POS and we have the medicine and we have the test too. It's good to test your dog.
Even if you give them the medication, you still need to test.
It's good to test when you were giving them medication for a while and then you stop because you forgot it or you were traveling. Yeah, it's good to do the test.
It is very easy to forget because you do these things once a month, so it's easy to forget. So if you do, just come by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think to not to forget, just set an alarm.
Yeah, for
Set
sure.
an alarm.
Yeah.
Your phone is gonna do your job. Okay. Now another thing that we have to take in consideration with our pets is some people think that fleas and ticks is common on dogs and cats, like
And
having
some of
them.
Yeah, and I think some people believe that they're like your dogs have fleas and ticks and my dogs will not have fleas and ticks. Like fleas I just want to say if you were a hunter as a child, like growing up, or if you come from families of hunters, whether almost we all know that fleas and ticks exist in nature. That's where they live. So if your dogs go into those places, like that's where they exist and that's where they naturally live. So if you leave your dogs outside, they're gonna get fleas and ticks. And what can you do to protect yourself?
So we offer monthly prevention with Revolution for cats, and that's a topical medicine and a chewable tablet for dogs named NexGard. Revolution costs $10 and NexGard costs $15. And both protect against fleas, ticks, and mites. And lice. And it's better to prevent because, for example, do you know that a tick can walk over a mile?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I can barely walk over a mile. Just kidding.
They are very resilient animals. And do you know they can spend over a year without food?
Oh my god! So they can be like dormant.
Hibernation. Yeah. They
Wow.
go into a hibernation state, and okay, there's no food available now, so they just go to sleep. And when they feel the CO2 of the breathing of animals, they're like, okay, now I'm awake and hungry, and they go and they crawl and they reach the animal and. Game
Or
over. Yeah.
Parasite.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Parasite, why? Because they take advantage of your pet and they cause harm. Why? Because first, what's their main source of food?
Blood.
Exactly.
How much blood?
Like a lot of blood. Like, let's say 3 cc's per a day per tick. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And imagine, that's one tick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen an animal covered in ticks. Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay. One, they are sucking the blood. Second, they are transmitting diseases. They are transmitting diseases like Lyme disease, ehrlichiosis, anaplasmosis, and guess what? It takes money to cure those diseases. So it's better to prevent.
And this can some of the types of the fleas or ticks get on human beings?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
So there are so I go to the schools, and I'm just going to be honest here. Sometimes you see a child that has ticks in their hair, and people treat them like they're like unkempt and not well kept from their family. But honestly, I think they're just closer to the animals, and that's how they get them. It's not how the child is being groomed or anything. It's just that they live in close proximity to animals, and that's how they get them. And it's really sad because the child can feel a way of embarrassment, and you're like, it's not your fault. It's just that if you actually give the medication to the dogs, they will expel the fleas and ticks, and naturally it'll just go away from your proximity. And the more you give it to them, the more their body is situated with this medication, that even if you forget a month, that their body will still have some protection against these fleas and ticks.
Yeah, sometimes the medicine, we say it lasts 1 month, but it could last a bit longer. And influence if the environment is not heavily contaminated. And how we prevent the heavy contamination of the environment? Giving monthly prevention. Prevention.
And while we say each of these medication is kind of cheap relative to one pet, if you have a lot, the cost can go up. That's why it's very important to spay and neuter, because once those babies are born, they're your responsibility, and it's very sad. We get the different pages on Facebook about adoption, and it's just sad to see that happening.
Exactly. Another very popular myth is, no, but I have to let my dog or cat to have at least 1 liter. That's not true. Do you know that when you do that, you are allowing the development of the mammary gland, and that can contribute to future cancer? So when we spay is the term we use to do the surgery on females, and neuter the term we use to do the surgery on males. So when we spay them before they have a litter, or even when they have the first hit, we completely avoid future cancer.
Very important.
Very important. And you know what? So we have this promotion where the surgery is for free, completely free. You don't have to pay anything. En contraire, we pay you $10 per animal. Like the other day, this person brought 6 animals and happily went back home with $60.
And they don't have to be your pet.
No.
They don't. If you find animals and you think that they're not fixed and no one's taking care of them, and you bring them to the clinic,
You
the
make money.
promotion applies.
Yeah, you make money, and you're gonna make a really good action and contributing to prevent the overpopulation and helping your neighborhood. Because sometimes it's like, there's a lot of cats around my area. Come and get some traps from us. We can borrow you some traps, and then you bring the animals, we fix them, and we pay you. And with the surgery, we are including dewormer too.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
And cats and dogs, how often can they have babies in a year?
A dog twice a year, and a cat 3 times a year.
So you can imagine, and they can have multiple babies
Exactly.
in 1 litter. So they can stack up in numbers if they're living in the wild and they're not. Actually, I remember, that waterfall behind the cat team camp, like where you go past Benina's house to go to it. When you walk towards the waterfall, you can hear the dogs like running through the forest. Like you can, like they have their own packs, and you're like, what is that? And you realize it's dogs that are just wild, like literally like living wild lives. And I'm like, I wonder how that affects the local fauna. You can see trails. Like you're like, what kind of wild animal comes through here? And you realize it's dogs. And they probably hunt like the local animals, like
Exactly.
birds
and
and
that's
stuff.
the other thing why we're doing this, to protect our local animals, the local birds, the local lizards. Someone the other day we made a post on Facebook about if you hear us on the radio, what would you ask? And someone asked, is it true that a dog can actually eat a cat if it's really hungry? Yeah. Yeah, it can happen.
And it's very sad because when it does happen, the dog is not, like its instincts will kick in. So what it does, and I'm going to be kind of graphic here, sometimes it eats the softer parts of the cat and leaves the bones, and it's just a gruesome thing to see and behold. And it's, if you don't want to see that, then, and I've seen it happen here, and it's, you know that there's enough resources for dogs to not live those kind of lives. Yeah.
Exactly. What do we need? Just more responsible people. Talk with yourself, talk with your family, check your situation. If you don't have the space, if you don't have the time, if you don't have the resources, better save that. Yeah, better save that and don't have a pet. Yeah. How many dogs do you think I have?
Dogs? You have none.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because I don't have time.
It's very time consuming.
I don't have time, and I don't have space to. I would love to have a dog.
I don't even have space for 2 dogs, and I have 2 dogs, so you can.
But I'm juggling with the
I'm
time.
pretty much living in a dog house, basically. I live in their house.
But how is he compensating that? With time. Walking Coconut so she doesn't go crazy and frustrated. That's very important.
Yeah. Poe is so much easier, but Coconut is, and she's very smart. I mean, these animals, when they live with you, they start to notice your habits. If I don't wake up past 7:30, I mean, they're jumping on top of me in my bed. And it's kind of cute in the first time it happens.
Oh.
And then it happens consecutively for the rest of the week, and you're like, this has to stop.
Yeah, so that's why you have to be awake before 7:30.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. Dogs are routine animals. They need a routine. They need to be fed at certain time. They need to be walked during certain time too.
How often on average should a dog be fed in a day?
It depends. It should be 2 or 3 times a day.
But you don't just like fill up their bowl and let them...
No. It's very important to pay attention because it depends too what are you feeding them. My recommendation is don't overcomplicate your life cooking or trying to see what you can feed them. I have here some questions about nutrition, about the diet. It's very important to pay attention when the animal is growing, when it's adult, when it's in an advanced age. The best option is dog food or cat food. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Just serve what they need and game over.
The recommendation from the bag.
Exactly. That's very important. Every dog food or cat food bag has a recommendation. Okay, depending on the age or depending on the weight, this is the amount that I have to give per day. So that amount we're gonna split it in 2 or 3 parts, so we can keep them fit. But for example, someone was asking, is okay changing food every now and then? If you're gonna do it slowly. Not like, okay, I ran out of food today and I'm gonna get a new completely different bag and I'm gonna start it now. Most likely you're gonna cause diarrhea on your pet. Why? Because of that sudden change, the bacterias in the gut.
Oh my God, and they get very flatulent.
Exactly, and you don't want to deal with that stinkiness.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we live in Palau, so I understand sometimes you go to the stores and it's not available and you really don't have a choice. So when that happens, I mean, you give them in small portions. Don't just fill up their bowl and leave them to be, because...
Yeah, you have to change it gradually. Like, let's say this is the new food and this is the old food. So you're gonna go increasing the new one little by little and decreasing the old one until you're not giving the old one and just the new one. And that way they're gonna adapt to the new situation. What I do is I always try to have one spare bag of food. Like well wrapped, like not allowing ants or any other bug to attack it. Yeah, and I go constantly to the store.
And what's the best thing to deal with leftovers? Is it okay to give leftovers to our pets? Human food, I mean.
Yeah.
Human food.
When we cook, how do we do it? We cook with spices. We cook
Lots of salt.
lot of salt, garlic, and onion. Okay, let's talk about the spices. The spices can cause gastric irritation, and that can cause stomach upset or vomits. The excess of salt, depending on the situation of your pet, can cause problem with the kidneys or the heart. Onions and garlic are toxic for dogs and cats. They cause anemia. So the red blood cells just drop, exactly. And the other thing is the fat. It's not good to give them too much fat. Why? Because that can affect the liver, the heart, cause overweight, and that can cause problem with the articulations, with the joints. Yeah. So what happens? I want to share something that came to the clinic the other day. Someone brought these two puppies, and I couldn't touch one of the puppies because it was in so much pain, and both had like twisted legs and a really deformed body. I was like, okay, before anything, I'm gonna sedate the puppy. The other one wasn't in that much pain. She was more tolerable, but the other one, I couldn't touch it. So I sedate this dog. I took him to get x-rays, and as Dr. Design, I was crying when I saw the x-rays because the bones were almost transparent.
So they were not well developed at all.
Exactly. Why? Because they were only getting meat and other stuffs, but to eat, but not enough calcium, not enough other minerals to help them to grow properly. So what the body was doing, okay, I don't have enough calcium to survive, because calcium not only helps for the bone development, it helps to the heart, to muscle contraction, and to other functions in the body. And what happens if the animals are not getting enough from the diet? They're gonna get it from the bones.
Whoa, so it's basically the dog's body was eating itself.
Exactly. And that happens very often because it was not the first case. That was the worst case I saw. But I've seen a lot of animals with twisted legs because the long bones are not developing properly because of the lack of a proper diet. And that's why, yeah, you can cook for your pet, but you have to be well informed how to do it, what are going to be the requirements, in which state of development my animal is. Because it's so easy to malnourish your pet just because you wanted to save a few bucks or a few time, giving them the leftovers, and it's going to survive. Yeah, it's going to survive, but not in a good condition. Someone was asking, I see sawdust being sold at stores for pets. Can it be given raw or cooked? Okay, what is sawdust? Sawdust is all the leftovers from the butcher, fat, some meat, and bones. Okay, we have to be careful. If we get sawdust, we have to be careful that it doesn't have pieces of bone, because that's the other thing. Is it okay if I give chicken bones or fish bones? No. Why? Because are you gonna eat them? Do you eat bones?
No.
No. Why your pet is gonna do it? Because the thing is, you give them a bone, of course they're gonna eat it, but they're gonna eat it with a lot of hunger that this is delicious. And they're gonna get sharp pieces that can cause harm in the esophagus, the stomach, the intestines. They're gonna start to poop blood. And sometimes they require surgery. I've done surgery several times on animals that mistakenly were giving bones. Yeah. Yeah. Or they get stuck. Like the other day, my dog is doing this and it's not eating. I sedate the dog, and there were several times I had to remove bones stuck on the between the teeth on the palate.
Oh my goodness. You know, Poe is such a... I mean, he
Spoiled
doesn't...
boy.
Spoiled. He doesn't even go close. He only eats fillets. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like,
Bone.
there's bones here? Excuse me, Dad.
So yeah, please let's try not to give bones. So going back to the sawdust, well, if you want to get it
I
as
always...
a treat,
When I was younger, my uncles always got it because it's like to supplement the dog's diet as well, because they were eating leftovers as well, but they were not, we mix it with other things to make it less seasony, you know? And so he would always cook it, but always drain the fat, always no seasoning at all, just the meat
No
itself.
bones.
No bones. And when you cook it, it's easier to identify the bones, actually. So
Yeah.
you can throw it away.
that's very important. If you want to add sawdust to your pet's food, you have to cook it. Why? Because that raw meat, those raw bones, can carry bacteria, and you can cause diarrhea or vomit, or I don't know. Your pet can die if it doesn't get treated. And guess what? You do that, the pet gets sick, and you're gonna spend money. So it's better to prevent. Yeah. So some people say to, like, what is your pet eating? Just soup and rice. Is that enough? No, it's not enough.
Do you want some soup and rice every day?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly. Yeah. They're going. Well, they're hungry. They're gonna eat it, of course. But does it have enough nutrients to support my pet's life? No. If it's gonna make them sick at the end, yes. And it's like, but I see my dog and cat, they are well. Yeah, you see externally, but you have no idea what's going on inside. And the future is gonna speak.
So in general, feed your dog twice a day, better, or 2 to 3 times a day, better in the morning or in the afternoon. And then your cats, you just leave their food outside and they nibble all throughout the day, right?
For cats?
Yeah.
Yeah. They eat different. Dogs is like you place the food and they're gonna finish it. Cats, you place the food and they come and eat a little bit, and they go to have a nap. They come back, eat a little bit more. They go and hunt. They are like that. But yeah, it's important to check the body condition of your pet, because too skinny, not good. Too fat, not good. Because both are gonna carry problems that you have to pay for it.
Yes.
So how do I know that my pet is in good, has a good body condition? If you are looking at your pet from above, you can see there's a waist. And if you try to touch the ribs, you don't need to make too much pressure to feel them, or it's not that easily. So you can go adjusting the amount of food in base of that.
When Poe was still growing up, I fed him like a cat, basically just had his food out. And then he became an adult and I realized that he's not growing anymore. And I had to really lessen his food because he was, my bed was like, you guys are too heavy. So now he's losing weight, he's walking more, so he's much better now, but before he was a little bit overweight. And you think, oh my God, my dog is so well fed. But no, it's actually suffering. Like it's not a good condition to be in, and it also is not comfortable. It's very hard for them to breathe, and especially us living in this island, it's very hot. My dogs are, they're, they live like kings and queens. They live in my house with the AC on 24/7. But you can imagine how uncomfortable it can be for a dog that has to endure the heat and the, yeah.
Yeah, and
Make sure their water bowls are always full.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's very important. That's very important. Like, how often should I offer water to my pet? Only when it's super hot? No, that's completely false. It's very important to have water available for them 24/7. And it's very important too that the water bowl needs to be clean. Clean it every day, every day. Don't wait until that green stuff starts to appear, because that's the other thing. I had several cases where, no, my dog wasn't in contact with other animals. It's been just around the house and blah, blah, blah. Are you cleaning the water and the food bowl? No. Okay. From there, they are getting infections. So, yeah, would you drink water in a moldy glass? No, right? So why your dog or your cat has to go through that?
And dogs and cats, they're inherently clean. Honestly, like they will not, if they're well fed and if they're not thirsty or hungry, they will eat from the cleanest bowl and the cleanest source of food or water. But because they are desperate, that's the reason why they go to those.
They have no choice.
They have no choice. But if you put a dirty water next to clean water, they will always choose the clean water. Yeah.
But yeah, you have the choice. You have the choice of taking better care of your pet, and you have the choice of if this action is going to save me money, yes. Your pet is not going to get sick. And yeah, pay attention to your pet's body weight, because when, oh my God, sometimes they are so big that even the chest just pops out and they go everywhere. And yeah, and those animals, when they are too fat or too skinny, have less chances to survive if they get sick. But an animal who's has daily walks, regular exercise, a good diet, all the preventions, easy peasy, and good for your pocket, good for your wallet.
Yes.
So yeah, another question here was, what should I feed my dog or cat to keep them healthy? As I said, don't overcomplicate your life. Get dog food for dogs, cat food for cats, and that's the other thing. Can my dog eat cat food? Yeah, no big problem with that. But can my cat eat dog food? No, completely prohibited. Why? Because cats are carnivores. They require more more meat, and they need an amino acid named taurine that if they have a lack of that, they start to suffer blindness, heart problems, muscle problems, and they die. So that's why it's
Dogs can
important.
eat cat food, but you have to be careful because cat food usually has higher proteins, so they will gain weight if you just give them cat food.
Yeah, or if your dog, you don't know, and your dog is suffering kidney problems, that's gonna be a bomb. That's not gonna be good. Yeah. So yeah, other alternatives of mixing dry with wet food, or for a very old dog with wobbly teeth and very little appetite. Okay, first of all, with this information, I think the little appetite comes due to the problem with the mouth. I don't know how would you feel if you have wobbly teeth too, and go and eat something. Even something soft can become a torture for them. So my recommendation, first you should take the dog to the vet. Yeah, you have options with me, Dr. Decina or Dr. Ella, and check that. And then, yeah, what can you do? You can cook some bones or meat and use that soup to mix it with the food. Yeah, but maybe that dog needs some extractions, and those are a bit expensive. So, and other thing, we can keep better oral health on our pets if we feed them with dry food, because that crunchiness helps to get rid of the plaque and the tartar. Well, when it's too much, never mind. They need a dental cleaning. But yeah, feeding them with leftovers, that contributes to tartar formation, and eventually with losing some dental pieces, and that's not fair. Okay, so with all of these, I don't know if you ever heard about One Health. One Health is the concept that says that keeping a healthy environment, keeping healthy people, and keeping healthy animals, we contribute to a better world. So all of these tips that we talk about, how to keep your pets healthy, it's to prevent diseases on people. Because, yeah, a few years ago, I wasn't feeling myself. I'm a very happy person. And I was feeling depressed. I even had some very bad thoughts, and I didn't know what was going on with me. But I got a blood test, and my diagnosis was ehrlichiosis. Ehrlichiosis is a tick-borne disease. I got it while I was working with animals, so just that you know, you can get sick due to ticks as well. And that's why it's so important to keep your pets healthy, so you don't get sick. So yeah, I got treatment and I was better. But yeah, you can get ticks and diseases from them, lice too. Sometimes when there are some animals that come to the clinic and they have a lot, it's like a few hours later, I'm like, what is it? Just removing some lice. Yes,
Oh my God.
it happens. It happens. I try to check all my body before I come into my house well, my cats, they are having the prevention, so no bigger problem, but I don't want to bring a tick that's gonna stay a year there and then it's like
Right.
yeah. Yeah. Intestinal worms, we can get them too if we don't deworm our animals, mostly the kids. Because they come and they play with the animals, and they're touching their mouths, their faces, and they can get them from them. So, yeah, very important to wash our hands every time after we clean up after our pets, or after we feed them, after we play with them, after we cuddle them. Yeah, before we eat, after we use the toilet, it's very important. But yeah. And with this, we're going to have healthy people, healthy animals.
Healthy society.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is a healthy environment, because an animal who doesn't have intestinal worms, well, it's going to poop around there. Someone is going to step. Yeah, it's going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
It's going to be clean. You want to add something about it?
I just want to, since we're coming to the end, I just want to remind people that we're going to start our outreach program to the schools, and we're going to start with Baba Lab next week. And It leads up to November 9th, which is going to be our dog show, and also a celebration of Paw's 25th anniversary. And the theme is going to be kindness to our pets, or kindness to animals. And we're going to continue on promoting these good activities that we're going to have on that day, and what we can continue to do to be responsible pet owners. And I have been Mansangir Meril. I'm the outreach coordinator for PAWS, and Dr. Pam, who works for PAWS.
The vet for PAWS.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being with us today. And if you have any question, you can contact us to 775-7297 or 488-7297. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No. Connected water.
Water.
Okay, we'll leave then.
Kaya malingon tutaw. Sige to lang mga letok syarkit el tutaw. EPFM, Elisabeth Lain. Klubakon maligid ro kuy.